Hey guys, this is Daniel.
And Matthew, and we are that
That damn
damn brand.
right.
And joining us for this episode, episode 14 of our podcast, we have our good friend and sometimes site contributor, fighting game aficionado, and whatever other adjectives he would like to add to himself, Josh, aka Shiro.
Yo, what's up?
But he's only
What?
joining us via Skype audio
Yeah,
currently, so you'll get to hear his lovely voice, but you will not get to see him, unfortunately.
yeah, that costs extra.
So if you want to unlock the Josh video, send us money. No. Anyway,
It's to jumpstart the Patreon.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
That's
That's the $5 level.
that's a $5 level. Yeah,
The
the five
introduction.
dollar tier. You can see who this asshole is. Like,
But
oh,
if you want to check him out on Twitch, we'll put the thing somewhere on screen because ours are normally on screen as well. So
yeah,
that'll be there.
I need to up the game.
Yeah. So we'll start with some Overwatch news. Overwatch is bringing back the summer games, which always seem to be basically entails Lucio Ball, and that seems to be the only summer event that Blizzard is going to use. I mean,
That's all you
That's
need.
been a complaint.
yeah, exactly. Like, they couldn't come up with anything original, like, how with the uh, archives, and then it was like Uprising, and so they've, done some changes, but Lucio Ball is just constantly Lucio Ball. But the good thing about it, though, for the summer games this year is that, like any event, they introduced new skins, and so they'll probably be the new skins on screen now. You can peruse them. Um, I know Daniel had some thoughts on some of them. You don't like the Anna one, correct?
No, it's not me. It's not my style. I don't know. It looks lazy, in my opinion. I really like the Reinhardt one. I like the detail they put into that one. The Diva one's pretty cool. Winston one I really like, but maybe it's because I'm a little biased because I like Winston.
Yeah, the Anna one's a little. It's a bit plain. Like I don't hate it, but compared to the other ones, it's
Yeah,
lackluster.
like they're so good with their Christmas one with the owl, and then now it's like just her in a straw hat.
Clearly, it's a One Piece reference.
Yeah, I mean, it might be. I don't know.
It's
There's a
like how
lot of
the.
pop. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, I just like that she's called Cabana Anna. Give her a taco.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Daniel and Josh. I really like the Reinhardt one, but I am very biased because I'm basically a Reinhardt main. And the Winston one's cool, the Diva one's cool, but yeah, Anna's just kind of there. I don't know. I feel like they needed to add a what, Brigitte skin?
No, they need to just take her out of the game.
Who? Wait, for who?
Brigitte?
Yeah.
Oh, Brigitte. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't played Overwatch in so long, so I have no idea what the game is like with her. So.
I feel she does too much. I know a lot of people
Uh,
are saying, people are adapting to how she plays, but I feel like she just has too much to offer.
Mm.
Case in point, playing comp this weekend, our DPS wasn't really stepping up to the plate, and I was playing Ana, and we had a Mercy, so we did have a main heal. I swapped over to Brigitte, and we started winning, and we won the game because I could out Brigitte their Brigitte. Like, I
I
feel,
thought it was like pronounced Brigitte or something. I don't
It
even.
is, or
Oh,
something weird.
whatever.
But yeah,
Gives him
it's
time.
Brigitte.
Brigitte.
That's
yeah,
how you say it.
yeah.
Brigitte. That's my favorite saying is Brigitte.
I mean, it could just be Brigitte, which is like how it looks.
Brigitte.
But anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, we just wanted to mention that little bit of Overwatch news because I mean, if we get into a whole Overwatch discussion, we'll be here for hours at a time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
play that game a lot.
yeah. But anyway, so Daniel, didn't you have something you wanted to bring up regarding the Overwatch contenders?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Speaking of the Diva skin, they're working on compositions that bypass Diva because Defense Matrix is really powerful, and it pretty much can do, delete infinite amount of damage within the time frame that it's up. So it's way more powerful or in situations than a Reinhardt shield or a barrier. So they're experimenting with comps that are around Doomfist, Genji, and Brigitte to completely, and Zarya because of the beam, to completely negate the whole effect of defense matrix. So that's gonna be interesting to see that because Diva's been a mainstay in the meta ever since the beginning. I think she's the only character that hasn't left in the meta ever.
Because she was always asking for Blizzard to nerf this, and then they finally did eventually, barely.
Yeah.
I thought they buffed it.
But, well, originally they would kill you around corners, remember? Now,
No,
as long as you're behind a light post or something, you're okay.
but she can live through it now too.
Yeah, exactly. But
Maybe I'm just like a really shitty diva player then. Because I always felt she was kind of weak ever since the beginning, and then she's getting all these buffs. I'm like,
I mean, they gave her missiles, and yeah, they've
Yeah.
got some positives to her, but
I
They
did like
took away
that,
her armor.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Yeah, she used to have 400 armor, 200 health. Now she has 200 armor, 400 health,
Huh.
which is huge because she could just tank tracers, and now, well, she can still tank them because she's at 600 health.
Hmm.
Tracer doesn't do half damage to her like she used to.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
So, for those that aren't completely into Overwatch, like you or someone else, could you explain a little bit more about like why using those characters specifically would be used to negate Diva? Like, just maybe go into
Well,
detail.
okay, yeah, Defense Matrix deletes pretty much projectiles. So Brigitte uses her mace, Doomfist punches the shit out of people. Zarya's beam, not her alt fire, but her primary fire, goes through Defense Matrix as well, because I don't think it's considered a projectile, even though it kind of is. Well, I guess it's not, it's a beam. So it's basically trying to get rid of Diva's effectiveness, which she can, like I said, delete. She can delete ults if you time it right. Like, so they're trying to bypass her usefulness.
Well, so just from my own understanding, then how does Genji play into that? Because he was one of the characters that you mentioned.
Because if you have all the characters dive on one person, Doomfist Genji has his blade with just 50 damage. So you target a certain, I guess, a squishy, maybe a healer, maybe a DPS, and you can all hit them at once. Diva can't do anything to defend them, and it's an instant kill.
Okay.
But it's not. Yeah, and they're saying that that comp would probably only work on like King of the Hill, where you win one team fight and then you regroup and then win the team fight. It wouldn't be something for like 2 point where you have to win constant team fights, like defending or attacking, because when people are respawning and coming back, you need something that was a little bit more sustained. It's more of a get in, fuck them up really fast, and then regroup for the next fight. Interesting stuff coming out.
Yeah. Be interesting to see how it actually plays out and if it makes it up to the actual Overwatch League. Because for those that aren't aware, the contenders are basically like the minor leagues for the
Yeah.
Overwatch League. So
But a lot of the goofy strats that end up working are actually do come from contenders.
Oh, they don't have as much. Well, wait. No, they would have more stress, wouldn't they? Because they're trying to bait their way into the league. Okay. YOLO. Like that's legit YOLO. That's kind of neat. That's kind of neat, though.
it's interesting stuff. But I guess we'll move on from the Overwatch talk now. And so, if you follow our podcast and you heard in our last episode, Daniel and I recently did sort of a new PC build / refresh. We basically switched from Intel to AMD in preparation of the future chips. And on that front, today AMD announced the Threadripper 2, which features 32 cores. It's fucking unreal. Do you want to go into it a little bit more, Daniel? You're more of like the techie.
Well, okay, so they didn't really announce it today. It's been known, but today was the first day that you can actually pre-order it.
Okay.
So you can actually put money down on it. It comes out next month, I believe. Or it's on Newegg, so I don't think the release date's that important because I don't think anyone watching this is going to get it.
Right.
So yeah, it has 16 cores, which all of them are hyper-threaded, so that's 32 threads. That's 32 lanes of information that can go into the cores. It's the most powerful CPU out right now. Or that's going to be out, trumping anything that Intel has, or it's even going to be bringing out anytime soon. the leaks are saying that it's better than, or not the leaks, but it's a leak because they think they saw someone test it on one of those sites that rank all the chips, and it looks like it's 50% stronger than the current i9 that's out, and that's Intel's strongest CPU.
Yeah, Intel's saying like, "Hey, check out this badass shit we have," and AMD's like, "I'm gonna shit on that."
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting stuff. It's good to see because for us gamers, bringing it back to that, this Ryzen stuff has been really good because the streaming, the multi-threaded on the streaming, or each chip is multi-threaded. Let me backtrack a little. Even their 5 series, which is equivalent to the i5s, are hyper-threaded. The i5s are not hyper-threaded. So you get the multi-chip processing the way you would if you got an i7. While AMD's core speed isn't up to par, but it's kind of negligible at the same time. You'll see a difference, but it's like maybe 5 frames or whatever. Their hyper-threading or their multi-core processing, which you need for streaming, is actually way better, like a 30% increase over Intel. So why if you're a streamer, on the game end, like on your side of the performance, which on the gaming side, the clock speed is more important, Intel will do better for you. But when you're actually streaming for other people and you want your audience to have a good performance, an AMD is the best way to go, which hasn't been the case in the past. It's been if you want a cheap CPU, you go AMD. If you want a good CPU, you go Intel. But now it looks like AMD's catching up, and the next cores, which is the one I'm waiting for and the one I bought my PC to prepare for, is actually going to surpass Intel in their core size, because AMD is going into a 7 nanometer architecture, while Intel's next step is actually going to be a 10 nanometer architecture. So next generation, AMD is already winning.
That's nice. That's awesome because we just, basically future-proofed our new builds. So it's fucking awesome. But so we didn't mention this yet, and this was the part that like blew my fucking mind when I saw it today. Tell the
Oh,
people how much the fucking thing is going for.
it's $1,800, but that is the top of the line one. They are releasing cheaper ones in the months to come, but I guess they always come out with the best at the beginning, and yeah, 18.
Yeah, see, Josh is laughing at that.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck.
But
$1,800.
That's like
I guess
a rig almost.
it is.
Almost a whole rig.
No, that is a rig. You could get like a decent build for 1,800. Like maybe not
Yeah.
top of the line build, but you could get a decent build for $1,800.
You can probably get
Double it.
you can probably get a 4K build with that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's fucking yeah. It just fucking blows my mind to see that price tag on there.
But it's probably not for us.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
it's normally for like enthusiasts and that sort
Oh,
of
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
and they're gonna be the ones who can afford that. They'll be like 1,800.
Exactly. Like anybody listening, don't be like, "That's why I don't play PC."
Yeah.
It's like, no, you still can. It is a bit of an investment, but you still can. I mean, shit. I've had mine. This one, shit. I've had this like what since like 2012, 2013, and it still runs pretty decent. So, yeah.
You'll be getting an upgrade soon from our old parts whenever we see you in person.
Oh yeah. Whenever that happens, be dope. And just set some money aside for the other stuff. But yeah, that'll be fun. Holy shit, that price tag.
Yeah, I expect more like people into video, like actual video production. That's their life, and cause you cut down those times. That saves you money.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Time is money.
So, but yeah, that's cool. That's the future of what's going on, and it's cool to see that AMD is giving Intel some sort of a run for their money, and they caught them off guard. So I'm curious to see how Intel is going to fire back, but it probably won't be for a few years before we actually see a real response.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be funny if they announced like an i10 like tomorrow. Hey guys, we're developing an i10.
Well, that's what the i9 was. The i9 was actually a knee-jerk response to the first Threadripper, and it really was just like cores pieced together. Like it wasn't a real.
quick, just grab these things and glue them.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's funny. It's like a hodgepodge.
Yeah. They won't know any better. We're Intel. They'll buy the name.
That's pretty much what's happening still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Right.
Cool beans. All right. Well, we'll move on to the actual meat and potatoes of this podcast, and we're going to talk about EVO 2018. So, for all of you fighting game aficionados, such as Josh, basically it was kind of like your E3, your WrestleMania was this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's pretty much the Super Bowl and WrestleMania of the FGC.
Yeah.
That's.
So give us a more of an overview of it, since you're the kind of like the expert, I guess, at least out of us.
I was gonna say expert. Oh, someone's gonna call me out on shit. Well, I mean, it's the pretty much the premier fighting game tournament. It really originally started off as a small. I think it was like just a small tournament at an arcade, and eventually it later became. It's practically now growing into a convention experience, essentially. Like Maximilian Dude hosts panels there now. But yeah, you can watch old videos of like the infamous EVO moment with Daigo and Justin Wong playing Third Strike, and you just see like people that looks like they're almost in like some shack huddled around like old CRT TVs, and you compare it to now, it's nothing like that. It's grown so much, which apparently is also going to hurt the wallet. I didn't know this, but a few buddies of mine went to EVO. They didn't go to the grand finals because they'll host it. They'll host all the pools in the smaller top 8 events like Injustice 2 and Smash was in like the regular expo hall or whatever, and then on Sunday they move it to the big arena. I think it's what they have, the Mandalay Bay, I think is what it's called. Mm-hmm. And I found out it was like, apparently you had to pay like $57 to go in there on top of the registration fee for the event itself. So I didn't even know about that. So that's pretty insane. So
wow, that's
yeah,
kind of crap.
Yeah, so of course not only are you paying to register for the event, but you're paying for each event you want to participate in, Tekken, Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, what have you. And then apparently you have to pay on top of going and watch the grand finals.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, in a way it is. But yeah, I guess you also have to think it's a pretty big place. I guess they have to pay on top of that because not only are they renting out the main hall that they hold it in, they also have to rent out that place, and they got the big monitors and all that stuff. Trying to get that esports money, yo. I'm not certain if they aired it on ESPN this year. I think for the past 2 years they did. I know for a fact that the first year that they had Street Fighter V, they aired it on ESPN. I don't know if they did it again this year, but that's another thing with esports. They're trying to cater to televised media.
Yeah, that's I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's cool. Go on.
I was gonna say, like, Overwatch is signed to deal with ESPN and Disney. It's like a growing trend. ESPN is really opening up to esports. I guess whatever brings in the money.
Yeah, I know the Injustice 2 IPS, like the Pro Series. I think they aired that on TBS. I think they've had CS:GO tournaments on TBS as well, if I'm not mistaken, or they have at least aired them on TV before.
How do they have time and room for that? Like, aren't they showing reruns of The Big Bang Theory and Nick at Night and like? Where the hell
I think you just answered. I think you just answered your own question, sir.
Yeah, I'm obviously being facetious, but yeah.
Reruns are forever. But yeah, going back on topic. Yeah, EVO, really huge event, and this year was particularly really cool. And I guess another facet to add on, or another fact, is EVO is so prestigious that for Tekken 7 they have the Tekken World Tour, right? EVO was not even a stop for that. So for this whole circuit where you enter and you compete and you get points to go towards the Tekken World Tour finals, EVO wasn't even a mark on that, and yet so many people came, like a bunch of people from Japan, Korea, America, of course, Thailand. They came to EVO and they played. Like, that's just how big of an event EVO is for the fighting game community. Like, it's the top, it's the cream of the crop, pretty much. And of course, being able to say you won EVO is a really huge bragging right. But yeah, a lot of hype moments, especially this year, because I think this year really cemented the fact that a lot of foreigners, and by foreigners I mean non-Japanese, non-Koreans, are starting to go toe-to-toe with them. Street Fighter V, we had a guy from the UK win. Mr. Problem X, I think is what his handle is. I don't really know him that much. I don't follow Street Fighter. Tekken 7, Lil Majin from, I think, Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. He was in top 3. Dragon Ball Fighters, Sonic Fox, American, went up against Goichi, the Japanese, won. Guilty Gear Xrd, where for years Japan has dominated, and we had an American in top 3 for that. So this year was pretty awesome for all that shit. So it was pretty dope watching that. A lot of hype moments.
Nice. I was gonna mention though, like, wasn't there a big deal about a certain game not being featured at EVO this year?
Marvel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was getting at. Yeah.
You know, what's funny about that is I did my in my Marvel versus Capcom Infinite video review. I was like, expect to see this game at EVO. Boy, was I wrong. I mean, I'm pretty sure they had a side tournament, if I'm not mistaken. Honestly, I don't even know. I mean, the Marvel fans, they love Marvel, and anybody, if you like Marvel Infinite, you're gonna play Marvel Infinite. Though I'm pretty sure there are those out there still playing 3. But yeah, it didn't get the main spotlight. Pretty much, BlazBlue Tag Battle or Cross Tag Battle, they got the spot, and the game didn't even release yet when they announced it. So they're like, "Hey, here's this game that hasn't released yet. We're gonna have this. We're not gonna have Marvel."
Wow.
Yeah,
It seems like a shot at them.
Marvel was pretty bad. The launch, well, even before the game came out, like the game just didn't really look that great visually. Gameplay wise, it's pretty good, which I mentioned in the video I did. Maximilian Dude, to this day, he keeps playing it because he just loves that game. But the character models are still kind of jank looking when you look at them. I mean, you got to pay $30 for an extra 6 characters, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, compared to a bunch of other DLC models, out there. BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, actually, that kind of got some heat in its release because the base game is like $50, but if you pay $70, you get the extra DLC characters as they release. A normal game these days is like $60, so you're spending an extra 10 if you want to think about it that way. They just released new DLC today. I downloaded them for free. But yeah, going back to Marvel, they didn't make it. But honestly, I don't think Capcom was really, that's not their cash cow. They're gonna invest in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
That's their thing right now. They just released I think 2 characters for season 3 today, G and Sagat. And I also heard stuff that the Pro series that they had for it, I believe it was Battle for the Stones or something like that. That was apparently poorly run, and a lot of the Marvel players didn't really get very good treatment from Capcom. So yeah, there's a bit of controversy. I kind of feel that they saw it as a dead project, and I think I kind of want to say Disney, Marvel kind of had a play in it too, because I guess they saw that they weren't getting as much, like the copies didn't sell very very well. I mean, what was it, like Monster Hunter World sold like double or 3 times the amount of copies within a week that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite sold in a year, I think.
Wow.
It was,
Easy.
yeah, like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite did not sell well at all. The sales were real bad. I mean, God, just look at it. even when Dragon Ball Fighters came out, I already knew that game was going to be way better than Infinite, and it was the game right before Street Fighter. And also this year, another milestone, Dragon Ball Fighters got way more entrants than Street Fighter 5. That's another big thing. Like, for the first time in a long time, Street Fighter was not the number one game in amount of entrants. So yeah, another big thing for EVO this year. But yeah, no Marvel, no Marvel this year. And I think I kind of feel Marvel might be dead. I don't think they're gonna do 4 anytime soon, or I guess technically 5. Of course, it's all up to speculation. There's been some rumors about a quote-unquote uncanny edition, but I think that's been debunked already. I'm pretty certain if there were any announcements, they probably would have been out by now, probably. But yeah, that game.
Well, so aside from the tournaments, you mentioned a second ago the DLC characters for Street Fighter V. Game companies will announce like downloadable content for their games and news and stuff like that. So like the one that I saw that stuck out of my mind was they announced a guest character for Tekken 7. They're getting Negan from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, Negan of all things.
Which,
of all people.
Yeah, I didn't understand that at all. Like, I don't even know how to react or what to say to that, to be honest.
Yeah,
because they're like there've been there's a history of fighting games getting guest characters. The Soul Calibur getting like Vader and Yoda and Spawn and Link. And yeah,
Heihachi.
yeah, Heihachi and Freddy, and that was in Mortal Kombat, and Leatherface, and all those people they added, and then
Ninja Turtles.
Ninja
Yeah,
Turtles
Ninja
and
Turtles.
Injustice. Yeah, so I mean, there's like a history of this, and I think Tekken 7 did. They got, was it Noctis from Final Fantasy also?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're pulling. It kind of feels like they're just pulling stuff out of random places. I don't know.
Yeah, I really don't know what the marketing strategy behind that is. Harada is a mysterious man. I mean, what is really good is that they brought back some legacy characters, because that was some of the criticism with the first DLC. Because you had Akuma from Street Fighter, Geese Howard from King of Fighters, and then Noctis from 15. Which Noctis had a lot of mixed reactions. A lot of people were saying, he's a Soul Calibur character.
Actually, I see that.
Yeah. What? Negan's got a weapon? He should be in Soul Calibur? Ugh. I kind of wonder if he's going to play like Yoshimitsu, though, because Yoshimitsu's got that sword. So I kind of feel like he's got to have the bat. Can't have him in the game without the bat.
Maybe it's just something where he'll pull it out every now and then, but it's like behind his back.
Giggity.
Because Tekkens have ults now, right? Tekken has ults now?
Oh, yeah, they got rage arts. You can only do it once per round.
Maybe that's his thing.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure he's going to go rowdy.
Yeah.
Because they already have a rage art where Miguel is pummeling the shit out of you. So they got to have it with Negan, where he's just beating the shit out of you with the bat. But yeah, no, it was incredibly out of left field. I don't think anybody saw that coming, and if somebody says they did, they're probably full of shit.
or they had inside information, like.
No, they're full of shit. Yeah, no, there probably is. Probably fucked up with their NDA. It's gonna be so interesting. Of course, everyone's speculating who the other 3 are. The best part is probably the memes coming out. I saw one image where they photoshopped Garfield, Jerry Seinfeld, and Inspector Gadget as the other 3 characters.
Oh shit, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Crazy shit, man. I know a bunch of people are angry because they wanted Kiryu from Yakuza in it, which I guess I could understand. Yakuza's got a pretty big following. I personally have never played any of the games. I have heard one criticism that he might look too similar to Kazuya. I could see that, you know. Um, but I mean, there's 3 characters yet to be announced. There's still a possibility.
Well, and that would make sense too because Yakuza 0 just came out on PC, so if they want to try and toss in some of that marketing or
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, what the fuck is Walking Dead doing? I don't know anybody. I don't think I know anybody who still watches it, to be honest.
I mean, I know a couple people that still watch it, but yeah, it's definitely not as popular as it used to be. So
Yeah, I mean, I stopped watching after season 2. I hated season 2 so much. But yeah.
Well, so can we get your take on like, do you know how that community reacted once Negan was announced? Because you said like, no one was expecting it, came out of left field. Was everyone like, what the fuck? Or
Yeah, it's been mixed. I mean, some people are just kind of. I don't really think there's. I've yet to really see anybody that is genuinely like, yeah, Negan. I'm so excited for this. They're just excited over the sheer randomness of it because. The people who have watched it, I know he's a very likable. I guess that's the word. I don't think he's like
charismatic is what I heard.
Sure, yeah, iconic. We'll go with iconic. Should watch my words because apparently he was a very terrible person in the series. So that's the thing. Of course, the reaction, on Twitter is just hilarious. People saying like, fuck it, you just put Scorpion in Tekken at this point. Or
I would play the shit out of that.
Yeah, that would be pretty neat.
Yeah, Injustice did Ninja Turtles. They should do Thundercats. Try to one up.
Oh, yo, Thundercats was in there. Oh. Yo, Lion-O, fucking Lion-O and Soul Calibur. I would play that shit.
They should put Voltron in Blaze Blue.
And you know what they should do to fuck with people? They should put Lion-O and Soul Cal, but not announce which Lion-O, and it's the new one from Thundercats Roar.
Oh god. The weird little Steven Universe looking one?
Yeah.
I'd have to my pre-order.
He could play like Yoda.
Oh, yo! He's just like jumping around all over the place.
Yeah.
That'd be weird as fuck. Oh, man.
People might dig that.
Man. I saw some people saying that Negan should be a Mortal Kombat character. Yeah, probably. With the brutal shit. But then, of course, people want Spawn in Mortal Kombat. That's another thing too. Everybody wants Spawn in the game. They wanted him in Injustice. They want him in Mortal Kombat. May as well put him back in Soul Calibur.
I was gonna say he was in Soul Cal. So
yeah, he was in Soul Cal too. You can buy it on a PS3. It actually has Heihachi and Spawn in the same game.
Oh, that's cool. And Nintendo was like, nah, fuck you guys.
Yeah, pretty much. You can play Smash. Put Negan in Smash. Put Spawn in Smash.
Oh,
Nah, guys. Look, Goku is gonna be in Tekken.
He's not though, right?
No, I don't think so. Well, I mean, Dragon Ball FighterZ is under Bandai Namco, which Tekken is also under. Harada's in charge of that shit. So they could pull the character model from Jump Force. I don't know if y'all have seen the trailer for that.
I played it.
Yeah, it looks very Tekken-esque. They could take the character model and put him in the Tekken.
We actually have a gameplay video of that in our
Oh, nice.
on our site. I was playing it at E3 and I recorded it.
That was pretty dope. I want to check it out. It looks real cool. Because I liked Shonen Jump versus All Stars. I fucking forget the name of it. But it was pretty fun. And just looking at Jump Force, I was like, holy shit.
That's the Game Boy one, right? Or the DS one?
It was on PS4.
Okay.
I might have the title wrong. I'm just too lazy to Google it, and I don't want to fill your ears with the clacking of my keyboard. Yeah, God, it looks sick. They could just pull the character model. I'm just saying. Might not happen. Most likely won't. Another thing too is one big thing that they're saying is that Negan follows this current trend where a lot of the DLC characters have been these villains. With the exclusion of Noctis. because Akuma and Geese Howard, notorious villain characters in their respective titles. You know, Negan being like this huge a-hole from Walking Dead. So, yeah, I mean, who's to say?
Well, so by that logic, they'd be more likely to get Vegeta,
Yeah,
or
He's
maybe
an anti-hero at
Frieza.
this point. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe Frieza.
well, Frieza's kind of because Frieza teamed up with them, and oh yeah, I haven't watched all of Super, but I know Frieza teams up with them during one of the last arcs in Dragon Ball Super.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler, yeah, for all of
Okay.
y'all who aren't on the internet. Yeah. Oh man, watch them put Broly in there. He's a villain. New movie coming out. I'm just saying.
Didn't they just announced Cooler for Fighters?
Yeah, Cooler's gonna be in Fighters. Oh man, all these DLC characters. Oh yeah, even Fighting EX Lair announced DLC characters.
I don't even know what
That
that is.
Oh yeah, no, that is a game not a lot of people are playing. It's very niche. So it's developed by Arika, who I don't know. Y'all guys ever heard of the Street Fighter EX series? They were on
Yeah.
PS2. They were like the 3D ones. So
Yeah, the ones that have 4 people playing at once.
I think it might have had a weird multiplayer mode like that.
Yeah.
But I know it was a weird 3D Street Fighter, you know, like sidestepping and shit.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, so Arika was the developers of those games. There was also a Street Fighter, no, not Street Fighter. There was a Dragon Ball, Z fighting game on the PS2, which I think was called Super Dragon Ball Z, if memory serves me correct. And that one was also developed by Arika as well. So they're definitely a known quote unquote developer, but it's very niche, and this is one of their newer projects. I played the beta for it. I wasn't too excited. It plays very different from a lot of other conventional fighters that I've played. So that's kind of what really didn't catch me. I really couldn't get into the feel. But they announced some new characters for that game, and they also have the game on sale right now on PS4. So anybody listening out there that wants to check it out, it's going to be on sale. So yeah, lots of DLC. No announcements from NetherRealm, which has some people kind of upset. Injustice 2 is in a really weird place right now. I mean, they had really low number of entries for EVO. It was around like the 300s. Last year, it was around like 700. So that's a really
huge
cut.
drop.
Yeah.
Some people in the meta seem to be a little not really liking it. Sonic Fox, for example, he's like the big name when it comes to NRS fighters. He currently doesn't like the meta. He's been focusing his time grinding on Dragon Ball Fighters, which is obviously shown. He just won that one, and he got third for Injustice. And NetherRealm has had a kind of very clockwork system where, you know, they release a game, they support it for a year, then the game kind of lives for another year. They make an announcement, hey, new game coming out. You know, MK9 came out 2 years later, roughly. Injustice, 2 years later. MKX, 2 years later. Injustice 2. They haven't said anything. So everybody's like, when's MK11? So yeah, absolutely nothing from them. Otherwise, pretty much every developer has announced something. Street Fighter V really announced their DLC. Tekken announced their DLC. BB Tag DLC. For Guilty Gear, though, they vaguely announced that Ishiwatari Daisuke is working on something Guilty Gear related. But they didn't mention if it's DLC characters or if it's an entirely new game or a new update. But they did announce that they are going to be holding their own Pro Tour series, Arc Revo Tour. So that's going to be featuring Guilty Gear, Exard Rev 2, BB Tag, and BlazBlue Central Fiction. So just like the Capcom Pro Tour and the Tekken World Tour, gonna make all these stops. You're gonna play. You're gonna earn points, and then eventually go into the final arena where you battle it all out. So that's some exciting news because anime games for years have always been labeled the poverty fighters. They don't got the esports money. Dragon Ball Fighters has the esports money right now, but they have their own tour, so that's not part of the Arc Revo tour. So fairly exciting times. A lot of announcements for fighting games right now. Unless you're an NRS fan, it kind of sucks. Rip.
Can't win them all, so.
Yeah, that's true.
I always enjoyed watching EVO, even though I'm not a fighting person or fighting game person.
Mhm.
I do like going to watch like semifinals and up on each of the games whenever after they air or after they're done.
Oh yeah, like it's always
Yeah.
fun. I mean, I don't even play Street Fighter V competitively, and I don't follow the scene. But almost every year at EVO, I'll watch the top 8 because usually they have some very exciting moments.
Yeah.
I'm glad I watched because the UK won. A non-Japanese player won EVO for Street Fighter. It was freaking insane.
Who did he win with? Just out of curiosity.
So he was using Bison, or Dictator, against Tokido, who's he's like an Akuma loyalist. Like he just uses Akuma all the time. I personally hate Bison from every game that I've played. But I mean, good on him. That's awesome.
Yeah, my thing with Bison is I can never really figure out how to play him that well, but I know that people that do or that can and do play him very well. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's a tricky character. But it was cool. I mean, I don't think I've ever really seen Bison in top 8. I mean, like I said, I don't follow Street Fighter. The game's just not for me. I want to like it, but there's too many things about it that prevents me from doing so. Like their horrible netcode. So, online play sucks for that game. Unlike everything else.
So anyway, we'll go ahead and call it a wrap for this video. Just want to thank Josh for joining us and thank all of you guys for supporting us, listening to us, watching us, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Well,
Smash
before we
that
go, Josh, where can they find you? YouTube, Twitch.
Yeah, so I do have a YouTube. I am on the YubTubs. Now I am gonna have my clicking keyboard. So my channel URL that's Shiro Plays. So it's youtube.com/ShiroPlay5 because apparently Shiro Plays with an S was already taken. I don't know. I am on Twitter at Joshiro Joestar. So that's where y'all can find me if y'all are inclined to know what goes on in the weird ramblings of this guy.
I'll put some links in the description and maybe on screen so you can check him out there too, and also on Twitch, Shiro887.
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, that is my Twitch. I'm not very active on there. I really should fix that though. I need to figure out how to mess with the delay on my Hopodge, but otherwise, yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome. All right. Well, like I said, we'll call it a wrap on this episode. So I've been Matthew,
I've been Daniel.
and he was Josh.
Yeah, that's me.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.
Laters.